Very well. Just hold on. I was trying to share my screen, and this is what I was sharing with you earlier on, that um, we want to look at the exchange rates, and telling you that there is a very powerful currency that is outside there, and that currency is a virtual currency, and more often you hear of a Bitcoin, and not very many of us know what it is. So I'll want us to really look at a relationship between a Bitcoin and the Kenyan shilling, a Bitcoin and the other foreign currencies like the US dollar, the Britain sterling pound, and such alike. As I said, it's one of the very powerful currencies because it is not moderated by any commercial bank, because it's a virtual currency. And we know that currently the world is going virtual, everything is digital, and therefore there is need for us that we get to look at what is happening outside there. So question number 1 says that during a certain year, the exchange rates at a foreign exchange agent was follows. We have column number 1, we have buying in Kenyan shillings. Column number 2, we have selling in Kenyan shilling. Then my first row here, you can see I have 1 Bitcoin, and that 1 Bitcoin is an equivalence of 12.65 million. So that agent converts 1 Bitcoin at a rate of 12.65 Kenyan shillings. Then on the same note, on selling the Bitcoin, it is equivalent to 12.72 Kenyan million shillings. So we have been told here that a tourist came from US to Kenya with 6 Bitcoins. He converted them to Kenyan currency at a commission of 2%. And while in Kenya, he spent two-thirds of the amount and converted the balance back to Bitcoins before traveling back to the US. Then we are required to calculate the amount received to the nearest Bitcoin. So one thing I want to remind you here is that what confuses some of us is a situation when we are supposed to apply the buying rate, and in a situation when we are supposed to use the selling rate. So basically here, if someone goes to a foreign country with a foreign currency, so basically what the bank is, it makes use of a rate at which, basically the bank buys the foreign currency. And if someone has, a currency of that country and he needs a currency of another country, then the bank, what it does, it sells now the foreign currency to the individual who requires that type of a service. So now directly, I'll want us to really look at how we can go about the question. We have made it basically clear that what the bank does, it buys. And in this case, we are going to make use of 12.65 as the rate of conversion. So we are going to say that 1 Bitcoin is an equivalent of 12.65 million. But now this variant from US came with 6 Bitcoins. So the 6 Bitcoins is equivalent to how much Kenyan shillings. So basically we are going to take 12.65 M, then we multiply by 6. And once we do that, class, I want to believe that this is what we are able to get. So that is 12.65 you multiply by 6, and basically that gives us 75.9 m. So that is 75.9 million Kenyan shillings. You know, now this should be in terms of Kenyan shillings. So, but there is one more thing that we have been told here, that you know that bank or that agent converted at a commission of 2.0%. So basically now what that foreigner is going to end up with will not be 100%. Now the 75.9 m is 100%, but if the agent charges a commission of 2%, then it implies that what that agent is going to end up with will be basically 98%. In the class, we know that 98% is simply 0.98. Then we multiply by the amount that that person had, which is basically 75.9 million. So basically, once we do that, we take the 75.9, we multiply by 0.98. This one will be an equivalent of 74.382 million. So this is Kenyan shillings. So that is it. And we have been told once again that while in Kenya, he spent 2/3 of the amount. So you know, if he converted 2/3 of the amount and converted the balance to bitcoins, then basically if he spent 2/3, then what he remained with will be 1/3 of the amount that we have here, and therefore the balance that he remained with in terms of Kenyan shillings will have it as the balance is going to be the balance is going to be 1/3, because we have been told that you spent 2/3. With 1/3, you multiply by 74.382 million Kenyan shillings. So class, that is basically dividing 74.382 by 3. And once we do that, we are going to have the balance as Kenyan shillings 24.794. That is 794 million shillings. So now we are being told that he converted this money into bitcoins, and basically we have already made it clear that if you have a currency for that country and you want a foreign currency, what the bank will do will simply sell to you. So basically the rate of conversion from the Bitcoin to, from a Kenyan shilling to the Bitcoin is going to be 12.72 million. So class, we will say that one Bitcoin, 1B, is an equivalent of 12.72 million shillings. But now, what about the 24.794 million shillings? So this is going to be equivalent to, basically, we ought now to divide the 24.794 by the 12.72. In the class, this is going basically to give us that's going to give us is going to give us 1.9 49. That's 1.949 bitcoins. It's going to give us 1.94 bitcoins. But when you look at the question clearly, it asks us to calculate the amount received to the nearest bitcoin. So basically to the nearest bitcoin, then it means that we'll have to round off this, and it is going to be approximately to bitcoins. So class, that is how we were supposed to go about that question. And I want us to have a look at another question